SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
Have you been seriously injured? Mama Justice is here for you. Our medical team partners with top-notch doctors, surgeons, therapists, and urologists, ensuring a comprehensive recovery journey. If you've been injured, call Mama Justice today. We're here for you.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right.
Hey folks, Mississippi Minute. That's what it is. It's time for another episode into my ninth year. About to get to 10 once we go into 2027. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But I can tell you, I'm grateful for my team at SuperTalk, grateful for visitmississippi.org. Part 2 today with one of Mississippi's truest treasures, not only a music phenomenon, incredible at his instruments, but also an educator, tremendous educator for the School of the Blind and Deaf here in Mississippi. So let me do an official invitation to part 2. Is someone who truly embodies the power of music to inspire, educate, and transform lives. That's the fact. He's an accomplished musician, educator, trumpeter, arranger, and community leader whose career has taken him from sharing the stage with legendary artists like B.B. King, The Temptations, Mavis Staples, we can go on, as the band director and performing arts director of the Mississippi School of the Blind and Deaf. He combines musical excellence, you can imagine, an innovative teaching, mindfulness, and mentorship to help these beautiful young people discover their potential. He's well accomplished in various facets, a Grammy Music educator, award quarterfinalist, Mississippi Jazz Foundation Music Education Award recipient, and respected advocate for arts education. And guys, guess what? As Morgan Freeman said right in front of me on a very hot day in the Mississippi Delta, no art, no life. And when you get chills in 106 degrees weather, when he says that, you know that that's what this man today is all about. Please welcome in part 2 with the wonderful Kimble Funchess. Hey, Kimble.
Top of the day to you, Steve. How are you?
I like your shirt. I'm good. What we got? I don't make mistakes when playing a trumpet. That's beautiful. That is so good.
Yeah. I make creative decisions.
It says it at the bottom?
Yeah, I make spontaneous creative decisions.
Spontaneous. Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, try telling that to our wives. I wonder what they would say. Yeah, I love it. Well, Kimble, I know we dug into a bunch of stuff. I think we got rerouted a little bit because you and I were getting to know each other. I can tell you this, that getting to know you, hearing all about you, and now having some FaceTime and grateful for this. I can't wait to share the stage with you. That's going to happen very soon. We're going to bring you down, and you're going to do my resident show I do down here, and we'll put you on stage with Dr. Alfonso Sanders, and I'm going to watch you guys do your thing.
But, man, I look forward to that, man. That is wonderful.
Love it.
I'm charged up already.
All right. How about your baby girl? It's your baby girl, right? She was singing One Mississippi. You made me feel so good.
Man, let me tell you something. You were at Mattis. She was at Mattis Station a couple of years ago, and they did a project at school. And she came home so excited. She was like, Dad, Steve Azar came by. And I guess, I don't know if someone at the school knew you. So I say, Steve Azar, Mr. Steve Azar, Mr. She's like, well, Dad, that's what they called him. He's the guy that wrote the Mississippi song for the state of Mississippi. And he's like, he's an ambassador for Mississippi. I was like, well, you got the right guy. And she was like, we're learning his song. And so she would practice the song. Man, she was so excited. It was funny. She asked me, she said, Dad, so do you know Mr. Azar? And I say, 2 of my friends play in his band. And she was like, really? And And I said, yes. And she said, and I said, Mr. Walter King and Dr. Alfonso Sanders, those are my friends. I said, but they play with Mr. Steve Azar. She was like, wow, he came to the school. We learned a song. We sang a song. He sang with us. It was so cool. She had so much fun. And I was like, man, you can come to schools and do that with kids and have that kind of energy.
I want to say that moves me. I'm so grateful for her. You give her a big hug, but I do want to say this. And I think you educating kids and being in that environment every day now, especially the environment you're in, which is dealing with a lot of different challenges. I know kids have all kinds of challenges, but music is the unifier. Music fixes everything. And yours is on another level. It's steroids on top of steroids. But don't you feel like, think about the stages you and I have been so blessed to play, the artists we've been to share the stages with, the performers, the musicians, to still get to do that after all this time. It's almost not fair. And I'm so appreciative every time. But there's something about being with these kids and the next generation and Madison Square Garden, I've always said, is one thing and it's cool. But what is it about the power and the feeling you get when you're with these kids and they get it and they're so sweet, I mean, is there anything greater?
Man, it's winning. It's winning twice because you get to pay it forward. All of the people who invested in you, Steve, and we get to pay it forward by passing that baton on to the generation behind us. And that's what it's about. And we just get excited because we know it's good energy. And when she found out that I knew you from association, my property value went up, man. So.
No, God. Well, you know what? I tell you what, it doesn't go up here at my house with my kids. We're struggling with property value when it comes to that. I can tell you. That's so funny. It's so our kids. That's what it takes. That's why my kids would dig you, and your kids will dig me because they don't have to put up with us. But
that's
for a few
the way
minutes.
it is, man.
I want to stay. Let's stay there for a second here. What led you? And I don't know how far we got into it, but you're there now. And what was that decision like with your wife or your family? And was it a tough decision or was it, how did it go down?
Well, truthfully, Steve, for me, as teaching as a band director, my first band director job, I went into a situation where it was restructuring, rebuilding, refurbishing, however you want to look at it, a band program that had to come back around. And once we started building the band program, I decided I wanted to use my mindfulness through music approach. At the time, I didn't have all the pieces together, but I just started teaching in that regard. And when I did that, it created an opportunity for me to build it the way that I saw fit. And so my wife kept telling me, she said, Kimble, if you can do that at these schools, she said, you need to make that mindfulness through music available across the state and just go to different schools and help them do the same thing that you did. And she believed in it. She saw it before I did. And so going to state band contests, getting superior ratings at our annual fall evaluation for marching band, then the spring evaluation for concert band, getting great ratings. I found myself, I knew that I wanted to share that and help other young band directors get there. So I made a conscious decision to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and try and get this in place and share with others. And after doing that, having some success in that regard, the opportunity to come to the Mississippi School for the Blind. And that created an opportunity to walk into a situation that I'd never done before. But as I stated earlier, truthfully, Steve, teaching here for me, I really have a newfound respect for differentiated learning because we have to be creative in the way that we reach each student. And that's not a shortcoming. That's just meeting the students where they are and with accommodations that they need. And it has never failed that they always exceed the expectation. That's the beauty of it.
You talk about those. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying a purpose, not only with teaching what we've been blessed to experience and know, but the purpose of it. It's like, it quickly becomes a ministry. It's a ministry. That's why the head has to be right every day when I come in, because it's not about me. It's about how can I make a difference? How can I make a difference with the students and meeting them where they are and helping them to get to where they're going to be in order to be successful with what they're doing. And I think that's what it's about. And that's the most important thing for me. So it's an opportunity to help make a difference, like the many people who did for me coming through.
Unbelievable. Kimble Funchess is my guest today. And he has shared the stage with some of the greatest artists in the history of great. I've had some great interviews lately, Kimble. I've got you. I just had David Porter. He's going to be there. And I think about you guys and the impact that y'all have made on the world in your own way, and how music wouldn't be the same. The world wouldn't be the same. Let's take a quick break with the wonderful Kimble Funchess. He's down there doing everything for the School of the Blind with kids, the music educator himself. And this man can play a trumpet, and I can tell you. We'll be right back on In the Mississippi Minute. Visit Mississippi.org, celebrates folks like Kimble, David Porter. The rest is just history. We'll be right back.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now. Now.
Visit Mississippi.org. I'm clapping for him right now. Kimble and I like to eat, I can tell you that. The one thing about playing, Kimble Funchess is my guest today, but the one thing about playing music is you get to reward yourself with good food after you have put on a performance. And it's almost like you look forward to sound check, but you always look and playing and meeting the folks. But man, you look forward to the meals in the day. I got to tell you something. It was like structured for me, and I couldn't wait. But I appreciate you sharing the time. Kimble is the School of the Blind and the Deaf, and he has got a lot on his plate, but he is sharing his talents with these incredible kids and reshaping their lives and giving them opportunity to understand and feel and know the art of music, which is one of Mississippi's greatest resources. Am I right, Kimble? I'm right.
You are right.
Natural resources.
You are right.
All right, I want to know. So I want to hear some stories. So, you played with some great acts, and you obviously BB, the Temptations, Mavis Staple. Obviously Johnny Taylor was where you cut your teeth, right? And you spent all this time with Johnny. You got any good stories that you can actually tell that it's okay to tell that aren't, what stays on happens on the bus stays on the bus. What happens on the road stays on the road.
Yes. When I love to tell this part. Now, it wasn't funny then, but my senior year of college, I almost flunked out of college trying to travel and play on the road with Johnny Taylor. I got bit by that bug early. So I wanted to put to test a lot of the things we were learning in jazz band. Of course, marching in the Sonic Boom of the South, but when we got to jazz band, just learning different pieces, wanting to play like Clifford Brown. I loved Miles Davis. I gravitated toward Clifford Brown. But Louis Armstrong was the vehicle that made all of us understand what the expectation was on trumpet. And so when I would go out and play with Johnny, I auditioned and got in. And it was so funny, Steve, because I always wanted to let people know that what we were studying at Jackson State, jazz, big band, Count Basie, the whole thing. And so when I got on the road, I always wanted to play a solo to let them know who we listened to, who we wanted to emulate. And I never will forget. So when I got on the bus one night and we were heading up the road, everybody else was asleep. It became the pattern when we were traveling. I would ask Mr. Taylor stories, and he would share these different stories. I'd ask him different things, and he would tell me about how he got his start singing gospel, and he would start singing gospel music, man. And when I tell you his voice was angelic when he was singing the gospel music, and I was like, man, I said, seem like you would be doing that more. He said, but I had to feed my family. He said, he called me little brother. So he would, tell me I had to feed my family. So the biggest and most important thing was that I had to create the avenue that would afford me the opportunity to do that. So he said, singing soul music and coming out and doing that. But he would always put those bits and pieces in there to let people know where he came from. When you listen, Becoming the Wailers, Mr. Johnny Taylor, when you listen to Who's Making Love, you listen to the way his scream comes in, the way he says the lyrics. It
So
sounds
good.
like church.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
So
It does sound like church.
And so he would share those stories, Steve, and I would ask questions. And I'm talking about we up 3, 4 in the morning, going down the road, helping the bus driver stay awake. And so that became our time to talk about a lot of stories. And he shared about coming out of West Memphis, Arkansas, and how, he wanted to do something different early on. And now that I'm older, those stories are so valuable to me because, out of all the things he could have been doing, we were afforded those opportunities to have the stories. And he shared so many things about what he felt like I was going to be doing. And when the Temptations and the Four Tops jobs came through contacts with Vasti Jackson and others, and we became a regular with those guys early on, it spoke so much to me because he saw those opportunities coming for me. He told me. So he said, you stay the course, be open-minded, you're going to be surprised the opportunities that are going to come to you. So just those stories, Steve.
Were you temporary or full time? You were in college, so when did it turn into full time? I mean, was he always traveling with horn section? I can't remember.
That was a beautiful thing. Mr. Taylor was at that age where he was older, and he would say he was semi-retired. So the jobs that he would do would be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
Perfect.
I was able to go out, play those jobs Saturday and Sunday, sometimes Friday night when they were closer, and then come back and be ready for school.
That's why you had a hard time with school, because you got to travel to those places. How far were you going?
Man, we would literally go to Ohio. We'd leave Memphis. That's when they had the coaching four. They had the coaching four in Memphis. We would meet at the coaching four in Memphis. Everybody would meet there. And Steve, in the room would be Mr. Albert King, Artie Blues Boy White, Mr. Milton, Little Milton.
Little Milton, my man.
Yes. And Little Joe Blue before he passed. So I'm sitting in the room with all these guys I've heard on records. And everybody would talk before they meet there, and they'd leave there and go wherever they were going, their respective places. Some were going to St. Louis. Some were going to Ohio and Michigan. Others were going to New York. Wherever you were going, everybody would leave there and go in their direction. So those were the pieces that I remember. So when we would get back, sometimes I would literally get back right before it was time to go to class on Monday. And then that's when my family was concerned. They was like, look, you got to finish college.
Yeah.
Your mom would have a fit. You got to finish this thing. And that's when I had to make a decision, Steve, to go ahead and pursue it a different way. Then I finally went back and finished college. But those experiences early on, I think God was giving me an opportunity to experience that very early on so I can go on and do some other things that I needed to do. And I think teaching was a part of that. If I'd have kept that going, I would have repeated trying to do those same things. I would have continued to chase that. So by affording me the opportunity to teach, I'm able to exist in both worlds. And that's why I try to give each one of them the best I can in terms of teaching, giving the best I can here from a day-to-day basis. And then when I go out and play music, man, I'm winning again. So I just try to be a good steward of those opportunities. And the stories that there's not very seldom a time go by when I don't reflect on a story shared by Johnny Taylor. I've heard a lot of things, but those were my experiences with him. Standing on the side of the stage, watching Mr. Bobby Bland, Mr. B.B. King, when we would be on the stage with them. And also Mr. Bobby Rush would be on certain shows. So all bands would come out of the dressing room, and when each band was playing, listen to each one. I mean, literally standing on the side of the stage, watching each band, and then we'll go back and get ready for what we have to do. But those were the times that we had a chance to hear each group. Every band had their own identity. And I was fortunate enough to catch the tail end of that in the and 85 to about 89, 90. So that was interesting because those stories in my head right now.
So you and I were in the same exact time frame, because that's
Yes.
when my band was really rolling and graduating in '87, because it took me 5 years at Delta State. I was hopping around my major, but my last 2 years, especially my last year, we were on the road every weekend, just like you. But we were probably going as far as Baton Rouge, Fayetteville, Arkansas, University, all the Ole Miss State, into Texas a little bit, different colleges, but we were on the road and we were getting back late. And, I sort of, I guess by my 5th year, I'd gotten out of pre-med, which was good for everybody's sake and for the future of medicine, really good. But the truth was it was easier going and just finishing in business management. I understood a little better. So I got to tell you something. My degree is somewhere in here. And every time I see it, I get a little nauseous. Like, how did I end up getting it? Because I remember, just like you're talking about, and my mom and dad said, music is your thing, but you're finishing college. And I love Delta State so much, and my friends, I think because where I was, it allowed me to make sure that I stayed there because of my surroundings. That was just huge. And it was also Delta State where my band started to take off. And even though I was doing it as a teenager, it didn't really start taking off where it was officially a business until I was there, and those grounds made it happen. Let's take a quick break. Kimble Funchess and I are off the charts all over the map right now because this is what we do. This is what it's like being on the road. These are the conversations we'd be happening if we were on the bus. Visit Mississippi.org. We're grateful for all the celebrations that they do and proclaiming the fact that we are the birthplace of America's music. We'll be right back on Super Talk Mississippi with Kimble Funchess.
$20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now. In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Yeah, I've been down, I've been beaten, I've been cheated. You see it in the way I walk.
I'm having a wonderful time. I'm hoping you can feel it in your car, feel it in your office, feel it in your work, feel it in your house. Kimble Funchess is my guest today. He is the inspiration behind the teaching of the Mississippi School of the Blind and Deaf, and he has played with everybody. You've heard the stories now. We're a day and a half into an interview and just celebrating Johnny Taylor, Little Milton, Mavis Staple, the Temptations, the B.B. King, his stories he shared with us yesterday. Incredible. Visit Mississippi.org. That's what it's all about. One of our greatest natural resources. We got the farmland. We got our Gulf Coast. We've got our hills of Mississippi, the pines. We've got the Mississippi River, the Mississippi Delta. You name it. We got the kudzu walls, and we got it all. But we've got music, and that is a natural resource that God has put on us to share with the world. Kimble, I can't thank you enough for taking the time. Okay, I want to ask you some technical questions right now since we've had fun. Yes. How was this implementing this? I've read some stuff on this innovative tool that you have called Good Feel. And Dancing Dots technology transformed the way your students read, write, and record their own musical compositions.
Yes, yes, yes. Mr. McCann created Dancing Dots, and so Bill McCann, and he shared that with me, and he and I would talk on the phone. He's literally the creator of that. He's known the world over, and he's also an amazing trumpet player. He and I connected when I ordered the information, and he made such a great effort to make sure our students understood the program. And you have the sensory integration in there, Steve, where when you play, whether it's an XLM file and you can convert it to where it notates it. It also has different colors that are more, say for certain students, like different colors in the background. It helps them visually to see that. And the program with Dancing Dot does all of that. So if I'm playing, a lot of the exercises that we started using for our beginner band when I first got here, I would write them out to fit the instrumentation. And so I would run it through Dancing Dots, and it would share the music on the screen. And
when you say run it through Dancing Dots, walk me through a little bit more of a
let's say music. I write it out in my software Notion. Then I have to convert it to an XLM file. So it goes through Dancing Dot because it recognizes that either it can convert it to Braille, or it can convert it to the file where the students can read it. So now when I take it through Dancing Dot, it's going to read it through there, and I have it on my Promethean board, and the students are able to play along with it. So it gave me an opportunity with the pieces that he had already in the program. Let's say they were more advanced than where my students were. I was able to write basic warm-up exercise, long tones, the first 5 notes in each key, and I will put it in there. When I convert that to the XLM file, it will play the music with notated and show it on the screen so the students can follow along. We can play along with it, like a backing track when we're learning jazz.
You know what everybody listening right now while we're listening to you say all this technical stuff, we call this magic. Is what we call it, because this is magic to hear how all this has to go through all these cycles and chains and what happens during the travel of it and at the end result. This is just mind blowing to me.
And Steve, the power of the connect and people believing in what each of us, what we're doing. Bill McCann is worldwide. He literally made himself available to where he would call me, I would call him. He said, look, if there are any questions, you reach out to me. So I was able to do that. And then my students fell in love with it. And it was stimulating with the sensory integration, because if you're low vision, sometimes you can see the lime green, the neon green, you can see that orange. Change the background from black with the yellow print, whatever the students need. And that's what opened my mind to how differentiated learning. That's truly differentiated learning. I'm not taking anything from my 18 plus years before I got here, but I've truly experienced differentiated learning in terms of meeting each student where they are. Some students, everybody's not going, I can't teach the same way. Excuse me, I can't teach the same way. Some are going to need large print. Some are gonna need it in Braille. Some are gonna.
Yeah, you've got no stock way of doing this. You got a truckload of ways that you have to do it.
In this culture, in the community, I have the resources from different schools. When I tell you, Texas School for the Blind, Alabama School for the Blind, Arkansas School for the Oklahoma School for the Blind, Georgia School for the Blind. Y'all got a good little communication. Twice a year we host conferences for our bands to go and performing arts, wrestling, gold ball, cheer. So the students have all of these activities that are at their disposal. So when we go, we're sharing ideas. So we have I have band directors that have 17 years at their school, like at Oklahoma School for the Blind and at Alabama School for the Blind. So we call each other and we share information. And you know what's so cool, Steve? Each school has their own identity for their geographical region. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we think of each school, Texas has the mariachi bands. Louisiana has the vocal and the instrumental group that is indicative of their geographical region.
Sure.
Alabama has the stage band. They're playing jazz and the top tunes that everybody like. Same thing for Oklahoma. Oklahoma has a competition jazz band. So Mississippi, I said, well, hey, we're building this. So we intentionally play blues, gospel. And when we go to these conventions and these conferences, everybody is so supportive of each group.
Yeah.
And Georgia would come in with their drum lines and different ensembles. So everybody has that personality that speaks to who they are and where they are geographically. And that's the coolest thing because it makes everybody stand out. No one has to sound the same. We don't have to do what any other school does. Just be who you are. And I don't know if it's planned that way, but it just happens. So it reinforces your voice. Whatever your voice is, it's okay. Be whatever exists in that place. Be creative. Do what you do. And there's room for you, especially if you're committed to it. And I think that's one of the best silent lessons about this whole experience. And when I tell you the students get excited 2 times a year, twice a year, we're going to go somewhere. Not only are they traveling and meeting other students, but they get to network and share. And it's amazing how they look out for one another and they look forward to seeing each other. And it's work because the supervision, having to be there and do everything that we're doing that entire time, those 4 days, it's a lot. But it's just motivating, man. And
well, I can tell how you feel. I can tell you're about to hop out of your chair. I'm watching you. It's like, it's interesting because you're all are celebrating your culture. And when you do that, it's authentic. And when you're doing something that's authentic, it's natural because it's, for some reason, it becomes almost your DNA of where you grow up. And us celebrating gospel and R&B, and that's a no-brainer, right? It's like, that's who we are. And it's just really interesting that y'all, and the versatility from one state to the other, it's awesome. I can hear Louisiana right now. I can hear Georgia with the drum thing. I mean, you're spot on, and it makes sense. How you go twice a year, or do we host sometimes? Depends on who. What's
actually
the deal?
Our time to host is coming up, and believe it or not, the first year that I started teaching here, it was our spring we had to host, so it was a lot of work coming in that first year. But it got my feet wet, and now I understand what the expectation is. So we're coming up again this year, the spring. I think again we're going to be hosted. But I will keep you posted on it the next time they're here.
Yeah, I'd love to be there if I can. If you let me,
it's a great
be a fly on the wall.
Man.
Yeah,
it's a great experience.
Let's take a quick break. Kimble Funchess is my guest today. We got one short segment left to complete 2 days of interviews. I cannot wait to spend time off the record, off the show with this man. He's become a good friend already right in front of me. This is the gift of this show for me, has allowed me to finally get to meet people and know people that I've wanted to get to know for a long time. Visit Mississippi.org. I appreciate you all these years. Take a ride on the Blues Trail. As I say, you're going to end up in Liverpool and back to Mississippi. We'll be right back on SuperTalk Mississippi, School of the Blind. Teacher of the Year. Teacher of the Year, my man, world-class trumpet player, Kimble Funchess.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Your next customer is searching online right now, will they find you or your competitor? If your website is outdated, slow, or hard to use on a phone, you could be losing business every day. SuperTalk Mississippi Media builds sharp, mobile-friendly websites that look great and work even better, and they're more affordable than you might think. We can drive customers to your new website with powerful radio commercials and targeted digital ads on Facebook, Google, TikTok, Hulu, and more. Call SuperTalk Mississippi Media at 601-991-2305 or visit stmmdigital.com.
I'm Rex Baker.
From the time you were a little girl, I watched you playing by the river.
I'm sad right now because it's going to end after about 7 minutes, 8 minutes. Kimble Funchess is my guest today, Mississippi School of the Blind, actually Teacher of the Year. So visit Mississippi.org. I appreciate you guys. Plan a road trip. Eat your way around Mississippi, because I can promise you this, Kimble and I have already done that multiple times, and we don't have any regret except for a little high cholesterol. And sometimes our blood pressure goes up, but we can't help it. Visit Mississippi.org. Celebrating chefs of all types now. What took Michelin so long? I mean, they're tires. They can ride to Mississippi to start celebrating chefs in the South. Are you kidding me? Have you ever eaten grits in the North? No, you've eaten them here. Anyway, so Kimble, let's talk about being Mississippi Schools for the Blind's Teacher of the Year. What do you think your core philosophy when blending like rigid musical discipline with confidence building in these particular young people? Does that question make sense?
It does. It does. For me, the excitement is when students want to do it. And it creates the opportunity for me to stretch my what I feel I can accomplish. And for students to come and we meet them where they are. Whatever it is, we can meet you in some fashion to where you're able to learn to play an instrument. So, Steve, there are certain skills we practice, like the value of focus, helping students to, especially our kindergarten through second grade, third through fifth, helping them value focusing, meaning to concentrate, paying attention to details, following direction. You know as well as I do as a musician, there's certain things you're going to have to practice over and on the guitar till you get the fingering and the dexterity there. The same thing with the trumpet. There's certain things you have to do repetitively.
Yeah.
And what happens is we develop certain skills by being repetitious. So that's the same approach we take with this. We learn skills on a daily basis, but we're intentional about focusing, paying attention to details, staying relaxed, and being in the moment, the mindfulness. So I like to think we're nurturing mental health all through the process of learning, because those skills, we're going to learn to play the instrument anyway, but those skills on a daily basis is going to be skills that we can take with us, put in our pocket and take with us.
You bring up mental health. You develop mindfulness through music. I quote, as a practice centered around social, emotional pillars, how do you actively infuse mental health nurturing into a standard school day?
That's that bell ringer. When we come in, I have music that is relaxation music. As a visual stimulation, there may be a cloud, a sky with blue skies, and there are bubbles that's just dancing all across the screen. Then there's a soft, calming music that's in the background. That's setting the tone. When the students come in, that's putting them in a place of calm, and they're ready to focus. So now we're setting the expectation. So when they come in, that transitions into our breathing with a purpose activity. I'll say, okay, students, good morning, young professionals. Then we breathe in for 4. This is me modeling it. Then we hold our breath for 4. Then we breathe out for 4. Then we do that 2 to 3 times. An activity, Steve, that was 30 seconds long with this introduction, and we do that 3 times. We get to a place from 30 seconds to 3 minutes. We've done an activity and focusing, developing our focus muscle. So now the students are, in my mind, ready to be poured into because they're in a place of focus. Now we move into our first activity. So now when I demonstrate it or model it, and then we do it together, and then they demonstrate that they got it. So now we're putting into practices that is going to help them be settled. So now when we clap a rhythm and we clap 2 quarter notes and 2 beats of 8 notes. So when we do that 2 to 3 times, they're paying attention to details. They have to be concentrating and focusing. They got to stay relaxed so they don't get frustrated. So those are the pieces that we're using on a daily basis to develop those focus muscles.
Let's talk about some of your individual things that you've done. Let's back away for a second. Your record, Reconnect and Sacrifice, The Journey, speaks volumes about life's balancing act, I guess is the best way to say it. What does that song mean for your personal narrative today? I'm saying some junky questions, but I know you understand it. I'm sorry out there.
You're there, Steve. For the Reconnect and Sacrifice, for me, to find what my gift is, what my purpose is, to nurture that. And then sometimes we're so busy trying to fulfill so many different things that we don't exist in our purpose.
I love this.
It would be painful for me to be in another profession when music was that gift for me. Now that I was blessed to be able to do the things I did early on, so now I'm in a season to pay forward. I'm paying it forward. So now the sacrifice comes to, hey, you did that. You met B.B. King in New York when you was on the road with Johnny Taylor. You used to go to Tag Enterprise in Dallas to rehearse with the Taylor-made orchestra before you go on the road. Those memories are here. Those experiences are here. So now the reconnect is the purpose of how those blessings were presented early in my life. So now I'm at a place to where I pay it forward. So I can continue to do that and not make room for this, or I can sacrifice those pieces and come over here and do something that's part of the work and the mission for those gifts that were given to me early. That was the bridge that brought me over. So now I got to find an opportunity to pay that forward. And so with the Reconnect and Sacrifice, those were the pieces that helped me to not only create music that is relaxing, but put us in a place to reflect and a place of calm. But I also try to paint a story with the song, so it's a purpose.
You're my man. Bless you. Thank you so much. And God bless you, Mississippi School of the Blind, Kimble Funchess, Teacher of the Year. This man can blow a trumpet, and I'm telling you, it's special. Visit Mississippi.org. I appreciate y'all so much for allowing me to get to know this wonderful man. We'll see y'all later.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.